Thursday. This is your host, Mae Renfroe. And on Thursdays, we're going to usually have food for thought, things to think about, consider, and things, that my guests have been through and where they're at in their life now. And so, today I'm excited to share with you my guest, Jamie Buccheri. And she is a multi-location business owner and a mother who rebuilt her life after the devastating loss of her infant son. In this episode, Jamie will share how that tragedy forced her to re-elevate everything from working nonstop to realizing her time, presence, and peace mattered most. She talks about the mindset shift that led her to homeschool her children and create a slower, more intentional life, not waiting for that perfect homestead dream, but by choosing to live it now, right where she was. So, all right, this is something I'm anxious for you to share that with us. So, Jamie, just a big welcome here to the Thoughtful Thursday podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited about you and sharing that, unpacking that more with us, because it really sounds like you have been through a lot and early in life. You're still very young in the things that you have been through and where you're at now. So, where would you like to kind of start to share that with us?
So years ago, I lost my son. He was 5 months old. At the time, I was 21 years old, and I owned my first pet grooming salon. And back then, my mindset was very like, you work 7 days a week until you retire. I mean, I went back to work 3 weeks after my C-section, so I was very much a workaholic, and there was probably no changing me at that point in time. And I wore that as like what I thought was a badge of honor. I thought that prioritizing work and just being there all the time, I thought that that was success. And after my son passed away, uh at that moment broke me, but it also woke me up in a way that I think a lot of 21-year-olds don't get that type of that life shake.
Yes, for
um
sure.
so I realized something deeper. I realized that, going forward, I need to make sure that my time is the most important thing and it's being spent with the people that I love, and that I need to spend more time on myself spiritually, mentally, physically. So yeah, that definitely rearranged everything. I still had to work a lot for a few more years after that to get myself to a certain place, but I knew that by the time I had children again, that I would be able to stay home with them, and that's exactly what I did. And now that I have children, I have 4 locations now, pet grooming salons. And again, I was kind of getting in this space where I had this dream life, right? Like I wanted to live on this property and homeschool the kids. And then I kind of now live in suburbia and I'm still living this like city type life. And so I was kind of waiting for this dream in order to like, start this life that I wanted. And then again, I just kind of had another kick in the butt in life. And it made me realize, like, what am I waiting for? I can homeschool my kids anywhere. I can live the life that I want to anywhere. So really, yeah, just things that have happened to me throughout my life have really like changed my perspective for the better. And yeah, now I do own 4 companies, but my job is all like back end work, so I'm able to stay home. I'm able to work remotely 99% of the time, and yeah, just homeschooling and spending as much time as I can with intention.
Oh, wow, that is so good. That you're able to do, that with the children and how it brought that. And like you said, what happened at that age that, um, that's where you probably really seen the importance of the presence of time and the quality of time, because time is short. Like sometimes we don't realize until we're hit with something like that, the preciousness of life. Um, and now you're really, putting that in with the other children, pouring out of them and being there for them. Uh, wow. And so it's nice to see. I was saying what really kind of got you through your time of grief? Did you really pour it into work more? Is that when you really like were you trying to keep yourself like so busy that you weren't really thinking about it? How was that time right
Uh,
after losing your
So
son?
yes, definitely positive distractions. And then, like I said, I knew that
Mhm.
I was going to have to go 10 times harder at work and my career, but that at a certain point of time, I was going to pull back and things were going to look different. But definitely throughout that time, um, healthy and positive distractions, I would say. I made sure that I stayed close with a support system and friends that I trusted and family. I went to work every single day. I was laser focused on what I wanted.
Mhm.
And, like I said, just working out, training myself mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And I mean, there's not really any getting through that. I mean, it was constant struggle. It's still a struggle to this day. I mean,
Mhm.
sometimes I can talk about it and be fine, sometimes I'm not. But yeah, I mean, that was 11 years ago. And it's
Oh,
still a struggle. So there's no getting through
yeah.
it. There's just learning to live with it and creating healthy distractions for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And just trying to stay positive, see their brighter side, and making the most of your life moving forward, and for the kids, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, like, what is something you would really like to tell others going through that time that really helped you and is
Um,
important
so
for them
so
to
it
know?
yeah, so you know that obviously that's something that can really take you down in life, and we still have to function as normal human beings. Sometimes we still have to be a parent to other children, sometimes we have to be a boss, we still have to be a wife, we still have to be,
Mhm.
wear all of these hats along with this horrendous feeling that we have to carry every single day. So I something I always talk about that's really important is some people swallow their grief and they try to push it down and not feel it. And then
Mhm.
others live too much in it in their daily
Mhm.
life. And so I would say the most important thing is finding your balance of that. So for instance, I always say I hid mine in music. So if I was driving in the
Mm.
car or, anytime I was alone, I would play certain songs that would remind me of him. And I would allow
Mhm.
myself to just cry and feel all of those emotions. But
Mhm.
when I turned the music off and I got out of the car to go into work or to, deal with some other
Mhm.
sort of
Mhm.
responsibility, the music turns off and I come back to my normal self. So I was able to
Mhm.
create this space where I wasn't pushing everything down, but I also wasn't just allowing it to come up at any point in time.
Mhm.
Because triggers are real. They happen at any time. You
Mhm.
cannot always
Yeah.
anticipate them. So the best thing to do is just create this sort of like character that, in order to get responsibilities done and treat everyone around you as best as you can while you're going through that, is to create a character and but also, like I said, healthily express those emotions at other times.
Mhm.
Does that
Oh,
make sense?
wow. Yeah, oh, it does. Yeah, because you said you don't want to stuff it down and kind of ignore it, pretend it's not there when it is there. When you are hurting, that's not helping nothing. And then, or maybe dwelling, like living in that too much all the time, so that it's consuming you, just going about your daily life and doing the things that you need to do. Uh, for sure. So I liked when you said with the music, especially going in the vehicle to work, when you could put that on and that helped you to process it, helped you to grieve, so you could kind of grieve, let it out. You're crying. It's bringing back these certain memories, certain things, and you can, and that was very, very healthy to do. I was like, that was good. I know for me, like I loved praise and worship music. I'd have on a lot after we lost our son, our 14-year-old son in 2017, and just having that, and just hearing that the praise and worship songs, they've got words of God, of his goodness and his faithfulness, and to be able to dwell on that was really, really, really helpful to me. Um, but yeah, just having that time to grieve healthy. I know that I at first kind of wasn't like, because I was trying to be strong, or and thinking that I didn't want to be just like crying all the time, but I needed to be, for my family. But that is not good. I wish I would have let it released it more, and I know how healthy that is. So I really try to help others to see the importance of grieving, and having that time and that space to do that. And so it sounds like then you had that healthy balance, but it can be hard to do that.
Yes,
Sure. And sometimes we
definitely.
can try to avoid the things that trigger, but that's not necessarily good either. We can avoid, yeah.
Yeah, and you can't avoid them all.
And all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good to try to take that time to yeah, process that, and work it out. It's a ongoing thing. Like you said, just it's 11 years later, and there's still those really hard moments because you're missing your son. You always will. Still,
Yeah.
yeah, a missing part of your family. That's all I've noticed for definitely for us too. And that, so
Yes, definitely.
yeah. And so what was that made mind like shift that you've talked about, that you really wanted to homeschool your children? Is that something you did just growing up? Were you, or is this new? Like, were you homeschooled?
No, I was not, and I had 0 family support. Like, everybody thought I was absolutely nuts.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just once the kids entered the system and they start going to school and then they have homework and then they have stuff afterwards, I just felt physically sick every day. And I was like, I know, like, on paper, this is what you're supposed to do, but it just
Yeah,
feels wrong. Like,
yeah.
especially how young they start out and they just go off on their own and you don't see them for 6 to 8 hours a day,
Mhm,
just never felt right or natural to
mhm,
me. And like I said, I always
mhm,
thought I needed to, like, live in this certain area or have this certain lifestyle to do that. But like, as soon as I got myself working remotely, it's like, I'm here all the time. I'm just going to do
mhm,
this now. And
mhm.
despite everybody's lack of support, I did it, and it's the best decision I've ever made. So I'm really happy with
Oh,
it.
yeah. Well, see, how old is your children now that you're homeschooling?
8 and 6.
Oh, okay. Oh, neat. Well, and so are you finding homeschool communities? So you might not have the support of like your family or just certain friends, but there is a big homeschool kind of community. I mean, Facebook groups and stuff, or little local communities you can be a part of, and that really helps.
Yes, I have joined all the Facebook groups. I haven't found, like, physically a group of moms or parents to hang out with,
Hmm.
but I
Oh,
am
okay.
on all the groups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That helps tremendously. But yeah. Um, so I'm a homeschool mom, like I said, of 10, and I was homeschooled, and I knew that was something that I wanted. But yeah, so many people don't see that as like, what are you doing? This is it's not it's supposed to be considered normal to go, to send your children off every day, for all these hours. But that and not everyone can homeschool, so for various reasons. But it is neat when you
Of
can. It
course.
is yeah, definitely a privilege. Wow. So, just where you're at now, in what do you kind of see for your future? Where are you at, and what you've learned, and gone through, and during this time? Is it,
So my future, I guess I probably see Professionally, I would say I'd see more salons in my future.
Yeah.
Personally, like I said before, I really want to live on at least a few acres of property and become at least somewhat self-sufficient. I really like I even now, like I make all of my own cleaning products. Like a lot of the stuff in my house is made by me. It's not bought in the store. So I just really enjoy
Oh
that
wow.
that lifestyle, and I really want to
Yeah.
get into that more, but I'm doing it in suburbia right now. So
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh
then
wow.
with
Independent.
my kids, I really want to like get a motorhome and just do a little bit of like more traveling while we're
Yeah.
like be on the road a little bit more. So that those are my future goals.
Well, that's neat because you've got that freedom. If you've owned the business where you're not, you can do the work remotely. You're not tied down then. So, unless
Yep.
you get into the whole homestead life, because you said it sounded like that was your dream, but to go travel, because a lot of families, uh, homeschool families, are able to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah, I like that. So, and as what is a few things that you would really like to share to others, more than so what we've covered. Is there any other things that that has really been pivotal in your life to kind of get you to where you're at, and um, is something that you're really passionate about to see other women um, experience or to help them with?
Yeah, so I guess to wrap up everything that I said, and my main point to it is
Hmm.
don't wait for something to happen for you to create the life that you want. Um, like I said, a lot of people don't get that perspective shift at 21 years old. Some people don't ever have a
Hmm.
perspective shift like that.
Yeah,
But
I hear
everybody thinks it won't happen to me. It can't happen to me. And that's just not necessarily true. So, like I said, don't wait until something happens to create the life that you want. Write it down with detail how you want your life to be with your children, with your spouse, with your career, with yourself spiritually, like everything. Write it down and every day take small steps to get there and don't wait. That would be my
it.
main takeaway to all this.
Yeah. And don't wait. Yeah, because life will pass us by. I mean, that's the thing. Life completely. If we keep waiting for that perfect moment or for that perfect thing and wait till we're ready. And on something, I've heard this little saying: if you wait till you're ready, you'll never be ready. Right? So just step out there. But we also know that we're not in control of these things, right? So we can have our life patterned out the way we won't, and that's all you can do, right? Because the Bible say with um people without a vision perish. Says that have your vision, have your goals, like you said, but you really know that sometimes we just don't know, right? And coming back, I mean, to the loss of your precious infant son, and just this was not something that you had anticipated at all, and it just came. Yeah,
Exactly.
and yeah. So we realize that we're not in control of our lives, but God is, and He enables us to walk that out when it does happen. But like you said, you can have your goals and your plans, and so that life doesn't just pass you by before you've been able to live the life that you want for yourself and for your children. It sounds like you've been
Exactly.
doing that. Yeah, yeah. I like that. Well, any is there something we missed that Word you want to share before we go? In any resources, a website where where you they people can connect with you, or in that way?
Um, so yeah, if you search my first and last name, Jamie Buccheri, that's my same handle like across all social medias and platforms. So just Jamie Buccheri.
Oh, okay, okay. So they can find you there. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing that with us today,
Of
Jamie.
course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and everyone, just you have a really good week, and we'll be back here next week for a thoughtful Thursday. Okay. Take care.